This week, we'll be reviewing Abigail, the latest film from Matt Bettinelli Opin and Tyler Gillette, the directors of the latest Scream franchise films, and my favorite, Ready or Not. It's a bloodsplosion of fun, so stick around for our full review.
Bloodsplosion.
Is this a metal thing?
Yes. Taste.
David, what is this?
Pretty thick.
Great.
I have to kill a lot of people. Just tell me what you want me to fuck.
I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Oil me up, Daddy.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers big tits. Mistletoe alert. This is backcountry.
This guy was a real jerk.
How long can Hugo be pregnant?
Chomp, 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 chomp.
Oh, you're such a dick, David.
Okay, everybody, put on your corpse handling gloves. Hoodie Picasso.
Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk. I'm Bryce Hanson, the elder statesman of Horror Movie Talk, and with me is Sydney Lee, who's allergic to garlic, and Max, who sparkles in the sun. Every week we review a single horror movie. New theatrical releases always get priority, but we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Full video available on YouTube, so make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, turn on all notifications, sign us.
Give us money.
Give us money. Don't be a square. Be sure to share the show with your friends. Also, check out patreon.com/horror movie talk, the equivalent of the adult section at your video rental store. If you want to add your P to the community pool, go to horrormovietalk.com and follow all the links there to social media, or call 682-253-4468. There's going to be a graphic here that says that.
Put one right here, too.
And here. And here.
And right here.
And here, coming out of my mouth.
Here.
Oh, God, what am I doing?
Oh, no.
No, wait, hold on. Someone's gonna screen record that and make something really bad.
Honestly, do it. It'll be funny, guys. Do it.
Yeah. Max, act like you're someone's trying.
The noise.
You've seen the grapefruit video, haven't you? Okay. We've got a great show today. Starting out strong, we'll be reviewing Abigail. We'll start out by giving a brief review on our score for the movie. We score on a scale of 1 to 10. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can hop out at the spoiler section, which is clearly delineated. And later on, we'll be taking our voicemails with a little bit we call horror movie whores. Okay, Abigail can be found in theaters now. An elite operative team is assembled to kidnap a billionaire's 12-year-old daughter for ransom. They soon realize that they are in over their heads once it's revealed that the little girl, played by Matilda's Alicia Weir, is actually a centuries-old vampire. Wacky hijinks ensue. For this one, I had a mix of high expectations and low expectations going into the film. While the director's filmography include Ready or Not, one of my favorite recent horror movies, the trailer pretty much gives away the whole plot, and it had the low-quality Blumhouse vibes to it. Also, the latest Screams were kind of a mixed bag. They were okay, but, you know, whatever. I ended up really liking the movie. It's going to be one of those movies that the less you know about it, the more you'll like it. I could imagine this flying under the radar and having virality around people rediscovering it in a couple of years and being like, holy cow, I had no idea what this movie was about, and being surprised. So I lost my place already. The less you know about it, the more you'll like it. It establishes a micro subgenre of switcheroo vampire movies with From Dusk Till Dawn, The film starts out as a typical heist thriller that knowingly points out the cliche archetypes of the assembled team, then quickly subverts them by giving them, let's be honest, only slightly more depth than those archetypes. The titular character Abigail seems like a completely innocent victim, but there's something off about her that makes you ask, is this bad child acting or is this character hiding something? It ends up being both. While the movie,
I thought she did pretty good. What are you
she
talking
did good.
about?
I mean, I'd hate shitting on little kids that are, professional actors, but it's hard to be a good actor when you're not mature.
I think it's hard to cry. Like her crying face really bothered me when she was like pretending to be like all, what she was pretending to be. And like there was a moment where she had to cry and she didn't really cry. Her face just like scrunched up very strangely. And I was like, all right, like what? You don't really have anything to cry about. You're 10, so it's like, I don't know.
Pull from past trauma. Third grade was really hard.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to, bring the gravitas that a centuries-year-old character should have when you've, I'm assuming, not quite finished middle school yet.
But honestly, like in opposition to that, in Interview with the Vampire, Kirsten Dunst is like the little girl who gets turned into a vampire, and she fucking
Spoilers.
It's not a spoiler. It's a movie about vampires. Like they really, sorry to spoil a movie from the 90s, but she really has that like, oh, she's centuries old. But that's from the character development and shit. There wasn't much here to go off of, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll shit on her more in the spoilers, but it's what you expect with, she's not bad. She's not a bad child actor, but like there's a certain level that you can't really expect in terms of depth, especially with a character of this type. Like you can count on one hand the number of child actors that are like truly great, and they're all pretty recent. So anyways, while the movie's fun, there aren't many super memorable moments, and it plays out largely as you would expect. The film loses something in the end with a twist that seems sudden and unearned when allegiances are changed in arbitrary ways. So it kind of like squanders a lot of the goodwill with the ending. You're expecting it to pay off a little more and be a little more satisfying. It was just like, okay, I see what you did there, but it's not as interesting.
They won by the power of friendship, though.
Right. Girl power. So I give this one a respectable score of 7 out of 10. It probably would have been closer to an 8 if the ending was really great, but the ending was kind of like meh.
That's exactly like my exact thoughts on everything. It was up there for most of the movie. Everyone was being like, the theater was like laughing. I went with my friends and like we were enjoying ourselves. I was like, wow, this is a lot better than it looked. I was upset that the trailer literally gave every single thing that was going to happen away, because you don't know that the little girl's a vampire in the movie for like the first 30, 45. Like it's not soon. It's just like a heist thriller. Like I don't know why they would give away something that doesn't happen till the middle of the movie. That's what happens nowadays. Apparently all the trailers give away everything that happens. Like the Speak No Evil trailer for the remake, everything that happens in that movie is given away.
You watched the movie if you saw that trailer, by the way.
And that pissed me off a lot. Like I was telling my friends when we left, I was like, have you ever seen the original? And they were like, no. And I was like, what do you think happens based on that trailer? And they, were like, oh, this is probably what happened. And I was like, yep, that's exactly what happens in the movie. But this movie also was a victim of that. But I enjoyed myself. I had fun. It was better than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, the end was like, oh my God, like this is kind of ridiculous. So that's why I kind of bumped it down to a 7. But 7's a great score. I had fun. I enjoyed it. It was good for what it was.
Yeah, I feel like you guys literally said everything I was going to say about the movie, so it's almost pointless for me to just say it again. But I'm also going to give it a 7 because I had a lot of fun watching it, and I thought there was some really funny moments, and the blood splattering was just hilarious and over the top, very reminiscent of Ready or Not. So like it's clear that they pulled a lot of, you know, stuff from that movie. But yeah, the beginning, it takes way too long to get into the part where she's a vampire, which everyone who's seen the trailer knows that that's what this movie's about. And so it's kind of like, okay, when are we finding this out? When do we get the ball rolling? And then, yeah, the middle of the movie was great. It was just the ending. Like there was a twist, and then it was like, nothing really paid off that was being built towards. Like it was just all of a sudden we're watching a whole new movie. And I feel like the dialogue got really goofy towards the end. Like they were starting to say some stuff that was just like human beings don't talk like that. Maybe vampires do, but people don't. So yeah. 7 though. It was a lot of fun.
So do we get 7s across the board?
That's crazy.
Whoa. We're like, whoa, Sydney's screen is doing jacked up stuff.
What?
You look like a creepy AI image for a minute.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, 7s across the board. It's if we were a slot machine, we'd be a jackpot.
Nice.
All right.
Woo.
Moving on. If you heard any advertisements right now, right then, like, and you don't like them, well, you don't need to listen to them. But you do need to pay up. If you go to patreon.com/horror movie talk and come in at the $6.60 level a month, you can get early access to episodes without commercials. Also, check out our newly updated Horror Movie Talk shop, which includes a couple new products. We got a, what do you call it? It's not embossed. It's called... What are the patches called?
Embroidery and
embroidered patches. We got the make horror movie talk great again cap.
Woo.
We've got the logo tee, which I didn't realize was not on the store for a long time. So go check it out. Oh yeah, and also we got the Lisa Frankenstein stickers,
holographic stickers on there.
And if
Aaron
you
told
haven't gone, you should go see that movie because the same actress is in this movie too.
Yeah.
I love her. She does such a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thanks to our artist, Dustin Goebel. We have great imagery like that accompanies each of our episodes. So support him on Instagram by going to @dgoebel00. That's @DGOEBEL00. And he also takes commission, so reach out to him. Call 682-253-4468 to leave a voicemail. Thanks again for listening. Let's get into spoilers.
Can
I
just say real quick that I'm a little disappointed? There was only like one hate comment last week.
I know.
I feel like, I mean, is that all you guys got? I mean, come on. One guy calling me creepy and that was it. Like, you can do better than that.
It was pretty tame.
And someone said they wanted to eat my ass, but that's like a whole different ballgame.
Like in a mean way or in like a fun way?
No, they want me to sit on their face.
Oh, wow.
And I'm pretty sure it was a guy.
Yeah, it was a guy.
So
You're a twink.
You know.
I'm literally going to look at this right now.
It's not like you're going to see who's doing it if you sit there. Well, depending on which way you face. So your results may vary. Yeah, they're just calling you creepy. That's pretty light, you know? That's pretty light for horror movie talk.
Yeah, you do. He's a cutie. He could sit on my face. Wow.
You also did a live. I was curious if what's her name showed up for the live.
No, only good boys and girls show up for the live.
Well, you said that
Buffalo
she
Bill
came
showed up.
to the first. I thought you said she came to some of your lives, or at least the first one. She mentioned
Maybe
the
first one. Yeah.
So you turned her off so much from that first live.
I know.
That
Were
she
you playing
took out a vendetta on you.
Minecraft? Like,
Speaking of my lives, yeah, come hang out with me and watch me play Minecraft. Most of the time I just sit in one place and don't build anything, and I just talk for like 20 minutes and then realize I haven't done anything in the game. And last time my mic was off for like 2 minutes. I apologize for that. But it's a good time. We play Minecraft here.
Streaming is hard, guys. It
is hard.
It's not easy.
and if you guys want me to stream, let me know. I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably just sit there and share too much about myself. Or
I think the one
I could,
stream
like,
you did has the
read.
most views as far as streams go for us.
Mine is.
Yeah, yours.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I could do? I could tell me what book to take. Fans, people who listen, tell me what book to read. I will read out loud. It will be story time. That's
my
the
gosh.
only thing I can think of. Like, I literally don't know what I do. I'm just
Dude,
like,
yeah. Get scary stories to tell in the dark and just read that. That'd be
Or like
great.
just 50 Shades
I
of
do
Grey or
have a
something.
Goosebumps collection. Like, I have like a big book of. I could read Goosebumps. I have horror stories.
Please
like
read
classic
Goosebumps
horror.
live.
And that'd be honestly, I might do that this week. But
Okay, anyways, let's get into this movie.
Let's talk about Abigail.
So, yeah, it starts out with like really serious spy movie tone in the beginning. Does it pretty well. They're very secretive and they don't want to share their names.
No backstories.
Yeah, they're sent out to kidnap a person and they don't even realize it's a little girl. And the main character is, we don't find out her name, but she goes mostly by Joey throughout most of the film, played by Melissa Barrera, which you might know from Scream 6, and Scream 5. So
I've seen those movies.
I haven't.
I just want to throw that out there for
I was almost going to call it out. Have you seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
I have
no,
a couple times.
Of course you haven't. Of course you haven't, Max.
I can't win. Why did I spend my time watching those Scream movies? I could have been watching From Dusk Till Dawn.
It's Salma Hayek being a sexy vampire is the big draw to it, in my opinion.
I mean, you got to see it at least for the Selma Hayek scene.
It's kind of like this movie, but way better.
Right. It's true.
It's like there's a kidnapping, and they go. I think they just go.
No, there's
to
no kidnapping.
It's not a kidnapping.
Yeah, it's just a heist. I think they had just pulled off a heist.
Oh, right.
Spoilers
went
from
to a bar.
Till Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah. Truly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a ragtag team of professionals. Probably the most annoying to me was Angus Cloud, who played
He's dead.
Dean. Yeah, and he was also the first one to get killed in the movie. Spoilers, but
Wait,
like
he died?
Angus
Yeah,
Cloud
he died.
died. He died a couple years ago, and so I think that's why they probably made this movie and sat on it, because he literally dies first, and it's very graphic, and his body is in the movie as a dead person for a while, and that honestly made me uncomfortable a little bit. Like, I was like, oh my god, he's dead, and he's also being portrayed as dead, and that sucks. Like,
I didn't know he died. I've seen him. The only other thing I've seen him in is Euphoria. So
yeah, he's in Euphoria, and no, he died during production of this movie. So like the behind the scenes stuff is like he shot his scenes, and then the writer strike happened, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It was either the shutdowns or the writer. It must have been the writer strike, and then, sorry, no, it's the SAG-AFTRA strike, and they came back to production. So that's probably why it was delayed mostly. So he only died last year in July.
Oh, it was last year? Okay.
So, but there was a pause on it. But they had filmed all of the scenes before the production shut down.
how did he die?
He overdosed.
Drug overdose.
Oh no.
Yeah, it makes me feel bad for wanting to shit on him so much, but like he was the most annoying character to me. Just like he was this mumble force driver, and like I don't know, something about that speech pattern, which is like
That's just how he talks too. Like that's
Yeah,
just
that's
how he
how
talks
he was
in
in
regular life
Yeah.
too, like in interviews. Like that's just the way that he talks. But I don't think he was very convincing because I think he was so famous for being in Euphoria that if I like seeing him in this movie, I'm just like, oh, it's Euphoria. Like,
He basically plays the same exact character in
Yeah.
Euphoria, so it's
yeah. But you like I couldn't. It bothered me so much his voice, but I also see like a giant scar on his head, so I feel a little bad. Like, is this because of a brain trauma, or is that just how he speaks? Because he's like, it's just I can't even imitate. It's like,
what the fuck?
I'm too lazy to raise my tongue, man. It's just,
Well, the thing
I
that
can't move my tongue because I'm too over it. Like
For-
I can't.
for Euphoria, he was like found on the street, and like someone who worked on Euphoria was like, "You would be perfect for this show," and he was like, "What the fuck?" And so he just like, I mean, he's from Oakland. That could have something to do with his accent. Like, I don't know, but yeah, fuck, he was 25 when he died.
it sounds like he's just like lethargic when he's talking. Like he doesn't even.
It's like he might be on drugs. Like who knows?
It's something like that.
Probably was.
Usually, if someone dies mid-production from a drug overdose, they're probably doing drugs during the production. I'm just going to go out on a limb.
I mean, he was they did portray him in the movie as smoking joints and drinking the whole time too. So like that's also adds to it. But yeah, I thought like the setup was like really good, and I just really wish that we didn't know the twist in the movie before going into it, because it would have been a great surprise. Like, you can allude to there being a vampire in the trailer, like definitely, like you can show dead bodies, you can show people exploding. That would have been great. But like you didn't have to be like, oh, here's this little girl vampire, which like I think her dance scenes were creepy. I really like the dance scene between her and her like puppet, like how she makes whatever her name is, they call her Sammy or Sarah or something. Sammy. Like there were really cool dance scenes, and I thought that was like effective and funny and creepy and reminded me of like Megan. But
I'm pretty sure that was very intentional. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this entire script was written after Megan, just to be like, see, like little girls dancing as the villains. We can do that.
yeah, it was pretty good.
So, yeah, so the setup is there, and then, what's his name? Oh, shoot. I just lost the IMDb page. My brain. Giancarlo Esposito.
Gus Fring.
Yeah, Gus Fring. Like, he's in so many movies now, and it's like hard not to think of him as Gus Fring from.
I did not like his blue eyes in this. It just didn't fit his face at all.
It was so
freaked me out.
weird. He looked weird as we got more vampires coming in the end. I was like, everyone looks weird as fuck. Like, why is
well,
this the
especially because
character
he's got
design?
these natural, like, beautiful brown eyes, and then they throw these like blue contacts at him. He looked odd.
It's like
Yeah.
that picture of Miley Cyrus on the red carpet where she's like, "Do you know what I'm talking about?"
No, I don't.
Oh, wait.
So, Giancarlo Esposito, like, basically lays out, all the exposition for they take this girl to this mansion and meet up with his character named Lambert, which I really love the way he says his own name. I am Lambert. And he talks about,
Yeah, that is kind of what he looked like towards the end of the movie.
wow,
It's like me. I have blue
that's
eyes.
disturbing. So I've got blue eyes too.
Oh my god!
Piercing
Blue Eye
blue eyes.
Gang.
Wait, that's so cute. Aw,
Look at us.
we're just Should we put in vampire teeth? Just do the rest of this episode.
Yes. We should change the color scheme of horror movie talk so it makes our eyes pop, you know.
Yeah, we got to get some blue backgrounds.
So he talks about how, like, okay, we've kidnapped this girl. We're going to hold her from ransom. All you got to do is stay here and babysit for 24 hours, which, upon retrospect, that doesn't make any sense that it's a 24-hour job, but it's
because you don't know when the ransom money's coming in.
Right.
Like, it's not like they're saying in 24 hours we're going to kill this little girl. Like,
I thought that was like
that.
implied, but like that's just what I know from like watching other crime movies. So it's like that's not like a real thing. So I guess like they were probably with the original setup. It's like give us $50 million in 24 hours, or we'll kill your daughter. I guess like that was like the thing. But like they never said that they were gonna hurt her at all. Like, and they didn't want to. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was weird.
Did you find it odd that they were planning on splitting the money completely equally? Like the driver got as much as Lambert. They all got $7 million.
That was strange.
Yeah. You know, people are getting more equitable in their work arrangements, you know?
He's like, we're kidnapping criminals, but we have fair worker rights here. Like
it's a team effort.
I guess they couldn't have gotten them all to do it if they didn't say that they were all getting this like insane amount of money. Like that makes the most
$1 million
sense.
is an insane amount of money,
right?
So,
or $2 million, you know,
yeah.
Or just shave off another million off the top to say $6 million, and then Lambert gets to take an extra $7 million or whatever.
Yeah.
So. They make a point to say no names, they don't know each other, they don't know any background, and then Lambert gives them all nicknames to go off of, which is Joey, Frank, Sammy, Dean, Peter, and then Don Rickles for
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles.
Wrinkles.
So
I really didn't. I want to say something about Don Rickles and Joey. They were setting it up like they were going to fuck, and then they didn't. Why did they
tension
do
was
that? What was
high.
the point of that?
yeah, I have a point later on because there's like a knowing glance between them, and I was like, wait a minute, do they actually know each other outside
Like, are they
of
boyfriend and girlfriend? Like, I don't understand.
I honestly assumed that was what was trying to be communicated, and I thought that was going to be a reveal, but they didn't do anything with that. It's just like, no, I guess we're both in the military, so,
We
Semper
should
Fi
make
or whatever.
out. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, that's a little weird. There's a couple like things in the movie where I was like, is this what they're going for? Is this going to be the twist? And I ended up, I was wrong on all accounts, but I wish they did a little bit more of that, Like I assumed that what's his name? Dan Stevens or Frank was going to be involved in it somehow, that it was going to be a twist where he was actually, her father or something like that.
That would have been cool.
They kind of halfway did it to say that he got, entrenched in the organization. And then like the weird twist at the end, like kind of implies that he was more a part of it or wanted to be more of a part of it than he was. But anyways, like, yeah, there's a lot of twists that they could have done and a lot of interesting stuff that they could have done that they didn't. It's pretty straightforward.
I absolutely want to fuck the life out of Dan Stevens. I'm gonna be honest. I watched Downton Abbey, and he was in Downton Abbey, and he was so sexy, and anything else I watch him in, I don't even give a shit about how seedy he was in this movie. I still wanted him with his slicked back hair and his fucking ugly glasses and his stupid tracksuit. Like, I was like, wow, he's so hot. I would like, and I know he's built too, and they hid that because they wanted him to seem gross. I was like, take that fucking sweatshirt off right now. I love Dan Stevens. Like, I love Dan Stevens. Always been a stan. He was
also in the star of Legion, I think, right? Did you ever watch Legion?
No, I actually haven't. Is that based on the movie Legion?
It's based on the comic Legion.
Is that
You might like it. Did
based
you
on
like
the
The
movie?
Boys or?
I love the
Love
boys.
The Boys.
Yeah, it's based off of the comic book that was written by the same guy that wrote the comic book The Boys, and
Oh, he was in
couple
The Rental too. Did you guys review
There-
that? Oh, that was 2020. That was 2020. It honestly sucked. I don't know if anyone's gonna agree with me, the listeners, but
I
did
thought it was
not-
fine. I didn't
was-
think it was incredible.
Yeah, but he was in that too.
oh wait, The Rental, was that the one on Netflix?
It was on
Yes.
some streaming platform, yeah.
It
Oh,
was
wait. No, I'm thinking of Room
Dave
something.
Franco directed it.
I can't remember. Everything goes by so quick.
It was an Airbnb that they found a hidden camera in.
Okay, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Okay, no, yeah. Okay, sorry for the dance
So
season.
the best
Stevens
part about
tangent.
this movie is the like trying to attack the vampire and being hunted by the vampire. Like there's some very comical moments and some like good action that is just enjoyable to watch. Like it's very graphic and like people are getting stabbed right through the leg with a wooden stake. Like
that
it's
was
just
so
brutal.
funny.
Yeah.
And the onions scene, dude, that killed me. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, it was pretty great because it turns into a vampire movie so quickly. So like the kind of the sequence of events is they start the job, they find out that she's the daughter of like a really scary guy, like some kind of big guy in the crime world and, outside. So some billionaire character that's really scary and has like a henchman that mutilates people. And so they find out about that, and then all of a sudden people start getting mutilated. Starting with Angus Cloud gets completely
Rip
decapitated.
in peace.
And then
They do the bodies thing where they're like, "It's you who's doing this. It's you who's doing this. It's you who's doing this." And
right,
you're like,
and
it's just
yeah,
fucking annoying because we know it's a little girl the whole time. The
Yeah.
whole time. It's like,
Yeah.
stop being annoying.
and then finally it's revealed and she attacks them, and they're like, and I love it that there's no like slow roll at all. It's just like, okay, so we've got a vampire. What do we do?
Yeah.
Like they just like immediately go to, she's a vampire.
Well, it's hard to disbelieve that she's a vampire when she literally like breaks out of her chains and like screams at you with a mouth full of teeth and then like lunges at you. It's like, yeah, she's a vampire.
Yeah.
I believe it.
What's
really
your guys' opinion of vampire teeth? Like, do you like the teeth where every tooth is pointy? That bothers me for some
I
reason.
actually
No.
like that better.
Really?
I don't know why.
I like the fangs, just like the fangs.
I just don't think the fangs look scary.
The fangs are sexy.
Yeah, the
yeah.
fangs
Well,
are
they,
sexy.
yeah, but they're not
That's the
scary.
thing. Yeah, exactly.
Like a
I think
mouthful of shark teeth is way scarier.
vampires are more sexy than they are scary to me. So if they
Okay,
look
well, this
scarier,
vampire
then I'm
was
mad about
like
it.
12 years old, so
Not
maybe you want to
her.
retract that statement.
I'm talking about Dan Stevens, and he did not look sexy when he was a vampire.
No,
Like,
he did
it's
not. He
does
looked
not
really
look
weird.
good. I think if you're going for like a really scary movie, which this never was, like this was never a really scary movie, so it's an interesting choice to make the vampire design like scarier than a normal vampire design. Because like even what's her name? The girl who was in Lisa Frankenstein that's also in this. That girl,
Catherine Newton.
Catherine Newton. I did not like it on her either. It just looked weird. It looked
No.
so out of place. Like that's what
I feel
this
like the
design
teeth on her
looked
were
like.
too big. Like
They
they couldn't
were.
properly fit the vampire teeth in her mouth.
By the
so
way,
it
my
looked
friend
odd.
turned to me during this movie and goes, "Is that Sabrina Carpenter?" And I was like, "No, it's not Sabrina." He's like, "It looks like her." I was like, "It does look like her." You're right.
I have no idea who Sabrina Carpenter is.
Oh, she's a pop singer.
Thanks
She
for
looks a
saying that
lot like
before I
her.
had to say it.
Oh, okay.
Because I also
Oh, she
don't
does
know
look
who
like
that is.
Sabrina Carpenter.
She does a lot. It's really funny. But she also in Lisa Frankenstein, doesn't she look like her? Isn't that
I mean,
crazy?
it's pretty good. Well, not to like one up it, but you know who is the ringer in this movie is what's his name? Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
To a distracting degree, he looks exactly like Elon Musk.
That's
Yes.
what
It
my
is
friend turned to me and said, what is this,
fucking
built
crazy.
Elon Musk or
Yeah,
something?
he looks just like him. It's insane.
It's uncanny how similar they look.
But that
Like, and-
picture doesn't even do it justice because in this, it was like they used AI to like Photoshop Elon Musk's face onto him.
Yeah, because in this picture, like he's still like a little younger and a little thinner. Like in this movie, his face is like
It's bloated.
puffy in a way that's
yeah.
exactly like Elon Musk. Like I don't want to throw shade at him, but I mean,
Kevin Durant
honestly,
was hilarious in this movie, though. Like he
was very funny.
He was a good character. I was very sad when he died. Oh yeah,
Look
there
at
you
that
go.
face. It looks
bro
just
just
like
looks
him.
like. Well, I mean, and he's wearing like Elon Musk's shirt in this. Like makes it even better. But yeah, you're like, oh wow, I know some of it. What's Elon Musk doing in this movie?
You guys remember that picture of Elon Musk on the yacht and he has his shirt off and it's like impressive how white his body is.
Ew.
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
like that was the first thing I thought of when I saw
Holy
him.
cow!
Yeah, show the picture. I'm just saying.
Now that's a vampire right there.
Holy cow!
Oh God, this is
Yeah,
It's
that
gotta
guy
be
has
the
not seen
lighting,
the sun.
but like it's like it looks unnatural.
yucky.
I love. Sorry, we skipped over this a little bit, but I love like the setting up of the archetypes of like the heist movie. We're like, okay, you're, the one that always like turns it off is like you are the demolitions expert, and it makes me think like, why is there a demolitions expert in heist movies? It's like, wouldn't
What,
you
are you
just
gonna
like
blow
why would
something
they
up?
be there on the team? Like, do you need the demolitions expert to set off the explosives, or can't you just ask a demolitions expert like how much C4 do we need, and then have the operative set it off? But no, they're like go through like, okay, you're the hacker teen that is in it just for the thrills, and
I hated
you're-
that part.
You're
It's
the
so weird.
professional, and you're the demolitions expert. And then Joey just goes like, okay, you're all completely wrong. You're completely wrong. And then they do this little game where she breaks him down, and
Which they said no backstories 2 minutes before this, and she's like, I'm gonna guess what everyone does and who everyone is, and like she's ex-army, but she's also like a recovering addict. And then we have Don Rickles, who was a Marine. We have Dan Stevens, who was a
former
cop.
cop.
Angus is
A
like
detective.
not a professional. He just is the best. He's like, I'm the best driver in town, which is like, all right, like, like, okay.
Yeah, also his driving skills were not like anything that
He did hide
Impressive.
from the camera on the street. That was like,
yeah, he hid behind a giant semi truck.
Yeah, he was driving away like top speed, like dangerously, that would only bring attention
you would get pulled
to
over.
you. Like
you would get
you're
pulled
just
over.
asking to be pulled over
Yeah.
by the cops, whereas like no one was chasing them. There was no one that was
No,
after them, so there was no
not at
need
all.
to speed. Plus, if you're like trying to speed away, don't go on city streets with a bunch of stoplights.
Yeah.
Maybe take the
Yeah,
freeway.
with lots of
Because they
people
were
looking
going
at
to
you.
the middle
and-
of nowhere. So, and the billionaire's house originally probably wasn't near the city center. So, like, why would you? I don't know. It didn't make any sense. But then we have
Yeah.
Elon Musk, who's the muscle, and then we have. Is that it? Is that everyone? Yeah.
So there's Elon Musk, the muscle. There's the rich girl that
the hacker.
That's the hacker. Still the hacker.
Have you ever met someone who does this, like where they're like, I'm really intuitive. I can like tell, I can read people. It's just so cringy. I hate that.
I don't
get-
think I've ever come across it in the wild, but
Well, so I was a psychology major, and so half of the people in there think that they know how to read everybody, and it's just so bizarre.
I feel like
doesn't
I'm
everyone
good
think
at
that they
like.
can do that?
I mean, I
Probably.
feel like I'm good at reading people, but that's also because of like childhood trauma. So it's like not, it's just like, oh, I need to like monitor everyone's emotions to make sure that like I'm not doing anything to upset them. So like that's different than like being like, I definitely know that you're like a Leo with like a rising in
Wow.
Scorpio.
Sydney,
I think you just showed
you
us a
need
new
to do that
character.
character more. That has to be a recurring character on Horror Movie Talk now. Holy shit. You just like transformed into an Instagram girl for a second.
Oh, it's so easy. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Should I just talk like that? For
My
the rest of the
cortisol
time?
levels went really high when you started talking like that.
Yeah.
I'm Sydney. I'm from the Valley. I have like I went to Coachella this weekend. It was just like kind of bummy. Like it was just crazy.
What was your fit at Coachella?
You know, I just like wore like some like Levi's, but like I cut them off. They were like vintage. Like I got them like not from Salvation Army. Like I got them on Depop. So like don't even like I'm not taking it away from poor people.
I'm starting to
So,
think
like,
that Sydney is the character and
Yeah,
that this is like the real you.
I'm from Boston. How can that be the real me?
Yeah, so they set all the character archetypes up and then, you know, subvert them. But the real character archetype is the English actor with a bad American accent. There's something about like, especially for some reason, they always choose like an East Coast accent to do it. And they're just way too hard on the R's. I don't know. The R's just like betray them so hard.
When they said he was from Queens, I was like, I'm not hearing that.
Yeah, not at all.
It's not happening.
It's like when you hear dance, like if you want to hear like what I'm talking about, listen to Dan Stevens in this movie, or listen to McNulty in The Wire, or listen to Dr. House, which is all
God,
like,
Dr. House, yeah, definitely.
there's just something off about like, why are they talking like this so much? You know, it's like it's so close, but so off. So yeah, they reveal that she's a vampire, and then immediately it just turns into this like monster movie, and the house locks down. Like they try to escape and then realize that the door is gated, and then of course like it's locked in. This is all shown in the trailer with thick wood panels over the windows. And this is the thing with like trapped in the house movies. I don't understand why they don't just break through the wall.
Yeah.
Like unless it's a
They did try to do
masonry, unless it's masonry or like concrete, it's like you just punch through, you know, some drywall and like kick out, you know, the wrapping on the outside. I do give it credit though. This is the first movie that I've seen where they're like, hey, wait a minute, let's just break through the wall. And then they try half-heartedly, one person try
with like a fire poker. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
even like a
Like-
tool. Like they definitely have
if
tools.
they can get their hands on something like thick and metal,
Right.
you eventually can chip away at any wood. Like I don't know of a wood that's harder than.
Well, I mean, that's
being
what's so
chipped away
confusing
by
is they're
metal.
like, we're locked down, just like crazy, you know, inch thick wood around the windows. But then it cuts to the very next shot is like, shows the rest of the dilapidated house where it's not even, it's like literally lath and plath and lath, or whatever you call it. It's like plaster and lath. So it's not even like drywall. It's like you just kick through these
Yeah.
little tiny wooden boards and get out.
Also, there
I do
was
give them credit for like trying and saying like, oh, we tried and it didn't work. Okay, moving on. Like that's what most movies would skip over.
But there were two windows. There was the big one in the big room, which I get they couldn't get up there, so that makes sense. I mean, you could probably figure it out. But there was a window in the basement after they locked her in the cage, and they broke through the wood over the window, so it
That's
would
actually
shine
true.
on her, and it exploded her hand. So why couldn't they go through that fucking window? It was open.
I do
Yeah,
think it was a really tiny window, but maybe like one of the smaller People could have fit
Yeah,
through it.
Yeah, these are Hollywood actresses. They're not large.
Catherine
They
Newton
could
is
have
short and small. Like, she could have fit through there.
Yeah, look at this. That does not look like. Well, maybe there's bars on the window. Maybe that.
Oh, that's not the window I was referring to, but like maybe even that one too. Like,
This is. If Sydney got to him.
stop.
If Sydney got to him, this is what Dan Stevens would look like.
What are you saying stop for? You literally just said this.
Cue Max's dick sucking noises.
Yeah, I mean the biggest window like that they use as a plot device in this one is in that like central room that's a library. It's like, couldn't you climb up the? I'm trying to find if there's a picture of it.
There has to be a ladder.
Can you just climb up the bookshelves? You know, to
Yeah.
get up there. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's all pretty difficult to do, but I don't think any of it's impossible. Like, there is probably a way out. And,
Yeah, that's one of those where I wonder if like if the directors just saw what the production designer was doing and just went, well, I hope no one notices that, you know, that there's a couple rickety boards over a giant window that they can climb out. But whatever, we need the lighting. So the other thing that like jumps out at me, you know, in this 24-hour job is everyone's drinking heavily on the job. It's like
heavily
to the point where they're like almost falling asleep. And it's like, okay, I thought these guys were professionals.
They're having like full bottles of liquor.
Yeah.
Like, not just a few shots, full bottles.
Well, I guess like, and before Angus Cloud dies, R.I.P.
Rip
But
in peace.
Catherine Newton is in a room watching like Woody Woodpecker, and she's or was it Roadrunner? It's Woody Woodpecker.
It was
right?
Woody Woodpecker.
Okay. But she's watching cartoons, and he's just like in there, and he scares her because she didn't know he was in there, and then she explains that she was trying to sleep, and he scared her, and I was
Yeah.
like, huh. So like, are they taking shifts? Because they said that they were gonna like monitor the perimeter. But how big is that fucking house? Because every scene there was a new room. Like it was just like they're monitoring the perimeter. They're all posted up at different corners of the house. But then once Abigail gets out and she's trying to like kill everyone, like you're in. So there's every door is different. Like I'm like we're not back in the same place at all, except for like the main room and the big room.
I mean, that's kind of like a inconsistency that's common in horror movies where it's
Yeah.
like, we're just going to make this look cool and just say it's part of the same house, even though that doesn't make sense from a design standpoint. My favorite of that was Malignant, where it's like the upstairs attic was like the most dilapidated and like sun and like moonlight was coming through the roof. And then just below it was just like a normal house that was like perfect. It's
And
like,
they show it from the outside multiple times, and it just looks like it. The layout from the inside doesn't look like the layout from the outside. It's like they're using
Right.
two different houses.
yeah. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. If this is a nice house, like, wouldn't it have extreme water damage if that was just above the ceiling? Like if you had a roof that had like, yeah, anyways, it's pretty common among horror movies that we're just like, another scene takes place in another movie, in another room, and have it like no relation. I mean, what they tried to do is like, it's a giant mansion, but some of the rooms are completely in ruin, but some of the rooms are like completely upkept and pristine, and like.
And the
like,
rooms that are upkept and pristine for these vampires are the ones that have natural lighting. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, actually, that does make sense because they don't live in it as much. You know, it's like
oh, that's true.
the grandma's living room that she covers with plastic until
Yeah.
visitors come over. They're like, no, we don't live in there. That's only for visitors if they come over. That's the ones with
just a
the
room.
windows to the outside.
Yeah.
So anyways, they try to attack Abigail the first time. It doesn't go well. He gets a stake right through his leg. I love how sudden all the deaths are. Like they just come out of the blue. And probably my favorite one was the Rickles one, where is literally like,
He's like about to make out with Melissa Barrera.
He's like,
Yeah.
don't
And then
worry, I'm gonna save you. I'm
like,
gonna
"I
get you
got
out
you,
of here. I'm your
baby.
guy.
I'll get you to your son.
Joey takes 3 steps and turns around and he's like splurting blood. You're like, what? Wait, what? Yeah, it's so weird. Like there's stuff that felt like there's missing scenes. Like the first thing where they're all in the main bar room together and chatting. And then it feels like there's a scene missing because all of a sudden Joey is just wandering the house and it looks like she's hunting down something. I don't know. There's a couple weird transitions where it's like, was there something missing there? There was that. And then right before Rickles dies, there's some kind of sound like he sneezes or something. I'm like, what was that? And I don't know. It's
They
like
just got sloppy with it.
I was like hyper vigilant about some things and like thinking that's going to be a thing, and it never becomes a thing. And I just wonder if there's stuff cut out that would make sense to those little moments.
Yeah, I was gonna go see this movie with my roommate. I asked him to come with me, and then one of my friends also wanted to come see it. Only like he didn't originally want to come, but he was like, okay, this movie looks bad, but the reviews aren't bad, so let's go see how this is. So we were gonna go see the movie, and yesterday I like approached my roommate and I was like, I want to smoke weed again. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And so before the movie we smoked, so I don't think I really noticed that the intricacies of like the plot holes, but it was 6 months. 6 months I didn't smoke weed.
Sydney's spiraling.
Stop.
We'll talk about it on the afterpod.
No, but it was good, and it made me like calm down a little, which was nice. Like
You didn't get the fear?
No, I didn't, which was good because that's why I stopped, because I was getting the fear every day and I didn't get the fear. But yeah, so it was honestly like it made it funnier, obviously, but like yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's definitely stuff that happened. Like there were some of the fights that I was like, this is going on for too long. Like they would just keep fighting and no one would like win. And like, I think it was like towards the end with like Abigail and Dan Stevens, like they just kept rolling around together. And
The ending dragged on so long. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Who's winning this fight? I can't tell because they're just punching each other over and over for like 5
that's the
minutes.
one I'm talking about. Yeah, it was like too much.
So let's just skip forward and talk about the end, because that's where it kind of breaks down. So there's only 2 surviving people left. There's Joey, played by Melissa Barrera, and Frank, played by Dan Stevens. And everyone else is dead. And then Dan Stevens finds the like operations center room, and Lambert's there.
The command center.
And then Lambert just like says like, hey bro, let's team up and kill the vampire, because I'm also a vampire and I will make you a vampire and we'll take over the whole operation. And Dan Stevens is like, okay.
He literally says,
like,
fuck
what?
it.
Wait. Yeah, I mean, it's like, what was any of this set up? Like, it doesn't feel earned at all. Like the most that they do is like they reveal that Dan Stevens' character was a detective. He got undercover and worked in the organization and got kind of addicted to the power.
Something like that.
He liked having no rules. Which is odd because I feel like in gangs and organized crime there are a lot of rules.
rules. There are.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot less rules for cops if we're being honest,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah.
But
You know,
wasn't it like established that every single person who was there had something to do with Abigail's father's business? Like that's what she went down the line and was like, and you did this and you did this and you did this. I just don't really remember exactly what anyone's was except for Dan Stevens, because he was the one that kind of wanted to be a part of it, but like couldn't, and he abandoned his family too. And also Melissa Barrera abandoned her son, but like for other reasons, like she didn't mean to. It was because she was a junkie.
Yeah, I think they all like stole money from.
Yeah.
I think that's like the commonality is like they stole money, which is like, okay, but you're a billionaire, you know, share the wealth a little bit.
Seriously.
So that ending comes, Dan Stevens gets turned into a vampire and then immediately turns on Lambert.
I actually thought that was going somewhere else. Like, I thought it was going to be like, aha, I tricked you. Now I have the vampire powers and we can escape with our lives.
Right.
But that's not where it went at all.
But
Yeah,
he
because
just
he
went
seemed
to
like
be
he
like,
was teaming up with Joey, and then no.
right. And then he just said like, I'm just going to kill everyone. Period. Like, okay, there wasn't any plan after that. It's like, no, I just kill everyone now. That's what I do.
Well, he becomes
I'm a
a
vampire.
ultra super villain where he's like, I'm gonna make you like my slave and make you kill your own son. And it's like,
for no
where's
reason.
this evil coming from?
Like, because he wasn't really that evil. Like, it was set up.
He was just like a dick.
He was a dick,
then-
but in the beginning, he was kind of a dick, and then like he gets the Abigail, when they're kidnapping her, she stabs him with a pencil, and Melissa Barrera like he tends to his wound because she's like an army nurse, and he says thank you, and you think like he's gonna be like this reformed dick, you know, like that trope. But what? It makes no sense. Like the whole ending, it just goes off the rails because he's trying to kill everyone, and then Abigail's like, Melissa Barrera, help me kill him, and she's like, okay. Like,
Us girls gotta stick together.
It seems so. I mean, I don't want to turn into Joe Rogan's podcast or something, but like, it is a little like it feels that they're like, wait a minute, the straight white man isn't the villain in this. We got to fix that in the last act. Like, we got to have like the, you know, heteronormative straight white man be the absolute like evil incarnate by the last scene of the movie, and have girl power where they team up and take him down. It's like,
Which I think is fine, but they didn't set any of that up. It was all of a sudden,
Right.
it's like, oh, a switcheroo. Now the person who was the bad guy is the good guy, and the good guy, or the goodish guy, is now the evil. He's the devil. He's so evil.
yeah, yeah. It's very unearned and very confusing in the end. But I mean, it's like they just go ham. You know, I mean, that's when you have a movie that features just bodies exploding into like just chunks of blood.
yeah.
Like, you probably shouldn't be asking this detailed of questions necessarily, but you know,
I love watching them explode. It's not like so when sunlight hits them, they just explode. They don't burn. They don't.
Right.
And it's like a loud, violent explosion. It's like they swallowed a grenade. Like it just.
Yeah,
their whole body
that's
is
the best
blood.
way to describe it, honestly.
like, I don't even think a grenade would do that much
I
damage.
don't think so.
That's like they swallowed a brick of C4.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it kind of so Dan Stevens tries to kill Abigail and Melissa Barrera. He like stabs her in the shoulder, but like he's like draining Abigail of her blood to kill her, but then Melissa and Abigail work together to kill Dan Stevens. He's dead. And then Melissa Barrera's like, I'm gonna leave now. And then the whole time my friend kept turning to me and he was like, the dad is supposed to come. Like, he kept saying that to me. He's like, when is he going to come? And I was like, oh, you're right. And he's like, this is so annoying. Like, when is this going to happen? They said this was going to happen like 40 minutes ago. Then he arrives and it's, oh my God, I couldn't stop laughing. it was so ridiculous. Everything about the way that he looked was fucking ridiculous. Like, it was the way he acted was ridiculous. I was like, this is so funny, and it ruined the whole thing. Like,
No,
I
I
was
don't
like,
know.
ugh.
What was ridiculous about it? I thought it was. I mean,
I
it was
thought
like
he
your
was just
generic
silly.
vampire.
Like, I thought he was just goofy. He was just
I
kind of
think
like
what they were going for is like the whole movie they're showing vampires in kind of like a more modern way, and then they bring in this character who's supposedly
Nosferatu.
like Dracula, and so he's flips it on its head a little bit, and he plays all the tropes of like a very classic vampire.
He was just goofy because Abigail was just like, Dad, you're not there for me anymore. And he's like, I am there when I need to be there. And you're like, what the fuck? Transylvania ass motherfucker over here. Like, I don't know. I was just laughing. I don't know.
I was a little disappointed because they set that up, and that would have been. I wonder if they tried to do this and just like decided against it. That would be the ideal part for stunt casting, of just like, let's get a surprise. Let's get Nicolas Cage as the father, or
That would be very funny.
or someone like that's recognizable just for like 2 scenes. But yeah, it was just
Jack
some
Black.
guy. Yeah,
like, yeah, something crazy, but it was just some dude. Yeah. So
it was Matthew Good,
I don't know.
which was Ozymandias in The Watchmen. If you remember that one.
Well, the way Abigail explains it is she's like, my dad doesn't like me. He doesn't care about me. Like, he's fine if I die. And then he comes in and he's like, no, I love you. And then they like smile at each other. It's
yeah,
like-
which is weird. Like, it's not, again, like unearned. It's like, wait a minute, were we supposed to care about this in reality, or
I never cared about
because
it.
it's not filled in? It's just like, oh, he just lost interest in me.
Is it
and that's
supposed to
it, but
like
she-
reflect Joey and her son's like strained relationship? Because that like was also, it was emphasized, but not to a point where like you're like, this is the main thing. Like, I don't know.
But it's also crazy because, like, I mean, here's where it breaks down, where it's setting it up like, no, Abigail is hurt because her daddy ignores her. But then you're like, wait a minute, she's supposed to be like 300 years old. So like at some point, aren't you? I mean, you'd be transcended all human relationships at that point. You'd be like, no, I am my own person and I'm not affected by anything around me because,
Yeah. And is that even her dad, or is it just the guy who turned her into a vampire? You know, like there's a lot of questions. Like,
yeah, it's weird. The other thing, like in the design, in the production design, it has like this statue where it's like a tall person. It looks like a woman, like a mother, and then the daughter, which is implied to be Abigail.
I thought he looked,
thought it
like,
looked
a friar or something. Like, I thought he was
I thought it
that
looked
is.
like a dad figure, but just like in older clothes that looked similar to a dress, but was,
Okay.
for men.
Yeah, I was a little confused by that,
a
but
dress for men.
anyways, so
Dress
I
for
mean,
men.
it ends.
They're coming
it ends
back.
up. It ends up like being weird or whatever, and it's just like Joey is the lone survivor, and they let her go because she helped Abigail win for some reason. Like it just.
And then the mic drop with the music at the end was terrible. That song sucked. I thought they should have dropped No Church in the Wild or something. Like that would have been crazy. But that's what it sounded like it was starting to be. And then it wasn't. And then you're just like, this is a crappy song. Like
Yeah, they probably just couldn't afford the rights to it.
well, obviously, but like I think that the soundtrack was not very good. It was like rap music, which is fine. Like I don't have a problem with it, but there's like a rap in the beginning and rap in the end, and in the middle it's Swan Lake, which makes sense. But then there was that other song where she danced to with the mirror puppet with the Sabrina Carpenter or whatever, and
Yeah.
like I don't.
The
It was
music
a weird soundtrack.
was pretty whack.
Yeah.
All
Wow,
right,
did
well,
we
let's
like this movie?
No, it's actually a lot of fun.
It's
It's just that
entertaining.
like it could have been better if they had changed the ending up, and there's a few things they could have fixed it, but it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
So, what are our final recommendations for this one? Who would like Abigail?
I think it's got a really similar vibe to Ready or Not. So if you liked Ready or Not, then check it out, because it's got the same level of like humor with like violence, and it's not really scary. It's more just fun. So
If you're like super into vampires, I would say that this is not like a vampire lore kind of like reference point like Twilight or Interview with a Vampire would be. But I think that my theater was fully packed, every single seat. And there were a lot of teenagers that with their families. Like there were kids and teenagers with their families. So honestly, like if you're a kid getting into horror, it's pretty fucking gory, but I think this is good. Like it's PG-13, I'm assuming, right? No? Yes? Is it R? No, it's R. It's R. It's rated R. I don't know.
It's a pretty soft R.
There was like a literal 12-year-old sitting next to me. Like I'm so serious, but but I think it's fun. I think anyone would like this movie. Like I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you like vampire movies, if you like, especially From Dusk Till Dawn, like definitely watch this one. But yeah, it's a good solid entry. Not like the greatest, movie, but solid enough that I wouldn't turn away from recommending anyone to see it. Okay, let's move on to our next bit, which we call Horror Movie Whores.
Ooh.
Okay, Max, like pretend so you're sitting down, but pretend you have wooden stakes in each hand and you're trying to stab vampires that are just above you, like standing to your side.
Like this?
Yeah. But there's blood leaking off of the stakes getting on your face. And you taste the blood by accident.
Oh, it's bloody. It's pennies. Is that what you want?
Yeah. More stabby, like you're really trying to get
like this.
Yeah, a little higher.
No.
Okay, all right. I stole that one from the bloopers of Community, but it still works. Okay, horror movie horror. So this bit we listen to your voicemails and answer your questions and just react to your reactions.
This immaculate review. Sorry. This is David Day. And this immaculate review where multiple times Sydney's like, I don't support killing babies, pregnant pause, after they're born. She said the words multiple times that every pro-choice advocate tries to avoid saying as hard as they can out loud. She said the quiet part loud. I don't support killing babies after they're born. Sydney, if you're going to take this stance, you got to say, I don't support. This not a baby. You can't agree that it's a person.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, we all know, everybody knows it's a person from the very second of conception. It's going to be a person, right? You've all heard all the jokes. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. It was a good time. And Max, wow. Wait, I'm glad you're standing in there for me, to be triggered for the stuff. That does actually matter. Meanwhile, these other chuckleheads are just like, yeah, it's Magic Baby, whatever, it's Tuesday, and it's like, some stuff really matters.
Oh, God.
Yeah, doing the Lord's work, Max. Boy, man.
What can I say? Some stuff bothers me sometimes.
Okay, I do want to, I did not realize I was doing that, David. Yes, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to stop talking.
Yeah,
I thought we were
beyond the abortion talk, but we're right into it. I think he continues his call.
The only thing, David Day, The only thing that, and then about the abortion thing, and then you guys are all like, Bryce and Sydney, the libtards over there are like, we shouldn't make it political. It should just be, we shouldn't take a stance on abortion, not on one of the most, not on killing a child. We shouldn't take that. And Max is like, I'm going to do it. I think, I think this is what God would want me to do. Bravo for doing the right thing. You're doing the Lord's work. I said it before. I say it again. And about this whole let's not get political. Oh man, geez, come on. This is what horror movie talks about. Everybody else every other podcast out there is pussies.
That's true, actually.
That's why you guys got to be doing it. So I want to hear, line in the sand stances from Bryce and Sydney. I want you to confess, your sins before, the Lord and the audience. And I want the audience to weigh in. What do you guys think about, abortion, pre-gat? Okay, bye.
We know enough about what the audience thinks about
All right,
abortion.
next week on Horror Movie Talk, the Israel-Palestine conflict.
No. Don't.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, we got exactly the reaction that we suspected from the abortion talk on videos, and it's one of those hot button issues.
There are people who hate me out in the world now because I said very tame things.
Right, that you wouldn't kill a
born baby.
A born baby.
And everyone knows it's not a baby until the second that it leaves a vagina.
Yes.
And everyone knows it's not a baby until it, can say a few words and move around and
Right. It's not, that should be the rule for abortions, is it's okay until they get cute.
Yeah.
Because they're not cute for the first couple days. They're pretty alien.
They're kind of scary looking,
like elongated heads. It's not right. You should have the freedom to kill the baby until it gets cute,
And that goes for adults too. If you're not cute,
right? Yes.
God.
Sorry, you don't have to be super attractive, but you got to be at least.
And your
kinda
parents
cute.
can hold it over your head, listen, honey,
We can kill you.
you're not cute enough to.
We gave you 25
have this
years.
attitude. Yeah. At any moment, I can abort you. So watch it.
Well, because children are only good for what the joy they bring their parents. So if you're not cute, what are you?
Right. That's
Right.
true.
All right, moving on.
Oi, it's your boy, Buffalo Bill. Listen, I was looking for a new podcast channel, talking about some movies, stumbled across your channel, and I freaking loved it. So
Aww.
I just wanted to say thank you. And I love the crew, love the videos. I don't agree with your views on how you hate some movies, guys and ladies, but keep it up. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go watch the rest of your backlog of videos naked.
Naked. Buffalo
Thank you
Bill,
for your support.
You're awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
He's
for throwing
been
that in.
commenting on every single video now.
I've
Yeah,
loved
he's helping
it.
the algo.
It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Buffalo Bill. Yeah, if you watch us on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, comment below.
Yeah, comment something really controversial so more people start commenting below you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got so many comments on I don't know which one. I think it was it Immaculate or was it the one after? I think it was the one after.
The first Omen got 25 comments.
Yeah, that was crazy.
For us, that's a lot,
we love it. I want to read them. I want to look at them. Thanks, guys.
Okay, here's the next one.
Are you there, erotic thriller? It's me, Beyond the Grave. Anybody got any good suggestions for newer, just erotic thriller going on? or something that holds the test of time. Let me know.
He's asking for an erotic thriller.
I
Yeah,
watched, this is like 20 something years old, but I watched Secretary with Maggie Gyllenhaal and James Spader a few weeks ago, and I wouldn't say it's really a thriller. It's more of just like, I don't know. I thought it was really sexy, and I thought it was amazing. I really liked the movie.
Yeah,
It's a good
that's
one.
more straight up erotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, erotic thriller. It's kind of weird. Like, it hasn't been a genre in the last decade or two. Like, in the 90s and 80s, it was huge.
I know. I'm thinking of like Eyes Wide
What's
Shut
that one
and Basic
movie?
Instinct.
Stranger
and
by the
stuff.
Lake.
Yeah, Stranger by the... Oh, Jesus. Stranger by the Lake. If you haven't seen it,
never
that
saw
is an erotic thriller. No, and I think of erotic thriller, I think of like Brian De Palma, and a lot of movies in the 90s where it just had a lot stronger, hornier vibe to movies
Nothing
in
is
general.
horny anymore. No movies are fucking horny anymore. I'm so sick of it. I have to go dig in the
know.
archives to watch a movie that has sex in it. And even when movies have sex in it now, it's completely devoid of sex appeal, except for Poor Things. I honestly like the sex scenes in that movie, but like it wasn't, I don't know.
All
I
the
don't know.
sex in Saltburn made me want to throw up.
Yeah, it was
I
horrible.
feel like Saltburn and Poor Things was... It wasn't sexy though. It was like,
It was funny. Emma
it
Stone's
was-
so hot.
yeah.
But like it was
There's something about, I don't know why I like Emma Stone so much, but like she is very sexy.
she looks good with that dark hair in that movie too.
Well, you know what I think it is, and I don't mean this in a bad way. She's got a kind of a weird looking face, but it's something about it is like weird in a good way.
Yeah.
Women that have big eyes are really hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I just disassociated because I'm thinking of Emma Stone
Emma
naked,
Stone.
but
I'm thinking like if Beyond the Grave,
But
if you've
there's-
ever seen like Crash by David Cronenberg, that's a weird, sexy thriller. We got like Mulholland Drive, David Lynch. Like I don't know, like there's no
Titane.
new ones.
yeah, I mean, looking up
I don't know about that
looking
one.
up erotic thriller,
The car scene.
there's nothing in the last 2 decades that come up as erotic thriller.
Yeah.
Hold on.
They don't
Sydney
make
just
them
said that
anymore.
Titane isn't an erotic thriller. She has sex with her car.
I know, but it's like about it's about exploring your gender identity. It's not like
I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think the definition of an erotic thriller is an essential part is the characters want to fuck, and it's an essential part of the plot.
and you can tell they want to fuck because they have good chemistry. Like
Right.
the chemistry is very important.
It's weird right now that like, yeah, there's not a lot of, it's not even just saying there's not a lot of sex scenes or there's not a lot of sex in movies, but there's not a lot of horniness. And like, even there's a meme on like Reddit where the people in our movies are like, they'll just complain about a sex scene being in a movie that it's out of place. And you're like, can you just shut the fuck up?
I've
and
seen that
let me see tits,
so
please?
much. I've seen that so much, and I'm like, why do you want to watch a movie where like Netflix is coming out with this filter where you can like make it like you can click a button where there's
Yeah.
no sex scenes in the movies anymore because they're like people don't think they're integral for the plot. It is
Wait,
always
so, like-
integral. It's always.
So like they take out the scenes,
Yeah,
or
they
they
take
just
out the
remove
sex
the
scenes.
movies. Oh wow, that's actually crazy. That's like what there was like companies trying to do that for a while, but I don't think they did very well.
Yeah, like I'm all set. I want to watch movies that have sex in them. I often watch movies from 20 plus years ago, honestly, because they actually have like sex in them. This movie, I just watched this last week. It's called Revenge. It's 2017. It is a rape revenge movie, but before the rape, there is sex scenes that are like consensual, and there's a lot of nudity in the entire movie. Not during the rape, though. other parts of the movie. That is not really an erotic thriller, but it has sex in it and people dying.
Yeah,
I mean, the essential part of an erotic thriller is erotic, like the eroticism of it. Oh, you know what?
Rape
It was
is
a
not
recent
erotic.
one.
Yeah, I'm putting a hard line on this. Horror movie talk, political opinions. Rape is
I'm
not
looking
erotic.
up.
Rape is
I found
bad.
an article about like recent erotic thrillers, and none of these seem super sexy. I guess Sydney Sweeney did one recently called The Voyeurs.
No, I didn't even know that.
Spin Me Round. Did you guys see Spin Me Round?
No.
It's actually a pretty good movie. I wouldn't say it's really an erotic thriller because there's not that much of a thriller element to it, but oh man, we'll have to talk about Spin
I
Me
already
Round on the
heard.
Afterpod.
I also heard about this movie called Sanctuary that has Margaret Qualley in it. And she was in Poor Things. She was the other girl that they made. But it's Margaret Qualley and what's his name? Christopher Abbott, who I love. He was in Possessor. But that's supposed to be sexy, but it says it's a thriller comedy, so I have no idea what's fucking going on. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyways, let's move on to our next caller.
What's up? This is the Beast from the Northeast, and I just wanted to say, because it's been a while since I've called, I listened to the Immaculate episode, and fuck some kids, am I right? Big old boulders to the dome. And that's about it. Anyways, guys, have a good day.
That's the thing about babies. You either love them or you want to kill them.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Man, Max got so much heat from taking a stance on killing born babies with smashing rocks in their head.
But you know what? It just goes to show that internet hate doesn't last. What's it been? 2 weeks since then?
It's true.
No one's talking about it anymore.
We identified, there was literally like one internet commenter that we've invited to the show, and we're going to reach out to her sometime. That like was the majority of the comments throwing shade at Max. But yeah, we'll see. What was the movie she was asking?
Hirosura or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's right.
Listen, quick take on that movie. It doesn't do what it's trying to do, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, it doesn't do what it tries to do.
Max, do you want another comment? Don't even say
I do.
anything.
Yeah, thanks for mansplaining movies to us, Max.
It's a review podcast. I'm going to review movies.
All I hear is mansplaining.
And I will say, in defense of the men on this podcast, in defense of these two men, I have been going through. I've had the worst fucking week of my entire fucking life, and both of you have been very kind and have like helped me a lot. And Max even called me and like we talked for a while, and like everything that he said like actually let me sleep at night. So like, these are good men. Like, they're good people. They're nice, and they do things for other people to go out of their way to do those. So like, everyone.
I'm going to use that goodwill you just gave me to start saying some crazy stuff.
No.
Just for the record, like, I've been having to edit myself because I don't know what to say because I've only communicated with bros about relationships, and I'm like,
no,
maybe that would be insensitive.
If you think something's insensitive, my friends have said worse in attempts to be funny, which it is funny to me, is what I'm saying. So like, good. You can say whatever you want.
Well, that's why I initially called Sydney, is because I was like, hey, I just realized that I texted a few things that I thought were funny, but maybe actually might be really sad for you. So I don't want you to feel that way, but I don't think she did.
I was like, it's hilarious. Keep going.
Yeah. Should we, I don't think we've said specifically what it was.
No,
should we save it all for the afterpod?
I just want to wait. I don't want to.
Okay. Let's wait for the afterpod. We're not, because if we say something, then there's going to get an outpouring of love and certain posts. And
I don't want that, honestly.
Let's wait for, let's give her a couple weeks of buffer, I think. All right. Next up.
Hi guys, this is David Day, and I got done listening to y'all complain about the trolls who are who are belittling Max, and I took a look at some of those comments. First of all, don't pay any attention to those comments because you are. I see you responding and shit. But here's why you shouldn't give those people the time of day, because this is their modus operandi. Imagine believing that you are entitled to say terrible things about a person. Imagine believing that's how entitled you are. That you could say terrible things about poor sweet Max. And it's okay for you to do that. Like, morally, it's okay for you to rip Max apart. They're just real pieces of shit, Like, and how are you going to argue with a real piece of shit? You can't, because they're real pieces of shit. So just keep that in mind. These people are jokers, and they feel entitled to let you know their opinion on you personally. And morally, that's a garbage person, and they should really take a step back and look at their lives. Anyway, don't respond to those people. Don't give them the time of day. Don't talk about them. Don't think about them. They're dumb. Love you guys. Bye.
Speaking of giving personal opinions on moral character, David is so amazing to me. He's such a kind person. He called me and we talked about it. And so just know I love you, David, and you're a good guy.
And on stuff like this, like, he ends up being very right. Like, every time I try to respond to stuff or like, see, my thing is like, there's two like ways you can approach it. I think both of them are probably just as valid. Number one is just like ignore them, because internet comments and sharing of opinions on the internet is like, you just have to rely on the anonymity of that person's and their humanity, because you're like, oh, I can hide behind a screen name and just say what my id is thinking. Is just say like, oh, you're ugly, I hate you, you should kill yourself. And that's like completely common, where it's like, can you imagine being at a dinner party and just like, just introducing yourself to people, and then you meet like, hey, I'm a research biologist, and someone just goes like, you got a fucking ugly face, you should probably kill yourself. Like, I'm not interested in anything you say. Like where did you come from? And it's like, that's completely normal on the internet, and that's like shocking. And so there's a certain part of that where it's like, okay, you gotta accept that this is not reality, so you can't engage with it on reality's terms. And it's probably a very valid thing just to not even respond at all. But on the flip side, I like to just confront their humanity directly and just like talk like a real person. It's like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, I'm actually a real person and I have feelings and you hurt them. And and then they're like, to a shocking degree, they're like, oh, because you take away the anonymity, or you put it back on them of like, hey, I'm an actual person, and like what you said affects people, and I'm listening to you like a real person. Like, tell me actually what your thoughts are, or because that's the other thing is like, there's a lot of like, I just feel important from commenting something, know? And like, if I can latch on to some kind of meme or some kind of like knee-jerk reaction or political movement, that I can identify in a thing. And this is like what's really annoying about internet culture now, where it's like everyone's just trying to find any type of like misstep or, unwokeness to identify like Easter eggs, and to call them out on internet comments gets you points, gets you imaginary internet points. And so I don't know. I like to just engage it from a humanity standpoint and being like, okay, well, if you want to argue, like argue with me directly, and we can talk about it. And like, if you have the wherewithal to like actually defend yourself and your statements in person, then I'll take you more seriously. But anyways, we'll see. Next up, another one from Buffalo Bill.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Buffalo Bill. Listen, me and Max, we've been talking online a lot, and seeing as he needs help finding movies, I've made a list of movies that I love and enjoy. Are they the best? Hell no, but I enjoy them. So here's a couple. Faust, Love of the Damned, Demon, Mouth of Madness, Prince of Darkness, Pontypool, Demons, the Italian version, Fright Night, the 80s version, The Blob, 90s version, Night of the Comet, and Life Force. So, much love, guys. Thank you so much. Bryce, you sexy mofo, you're awesome. Sydney, you're a queen. Max, get out of your house.
Why? Why?
I feel like Max probably gets out of the house more than either of us. Well, no, I don't know. Sydney,
I think Sydney probably gets out of her house more than I do.
You think?
Wait, Sydney, you work remotely though.
No,
I feel like if you work
go
remote,
I go in.
Oh,
I'm
do you?
hybrid.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I go out for is for work, and I come straight back.
Yeah.
See, I don't. I go places. I do things.
I don't want to see people.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh man.
So bad.
I haven't heard of most of those movies you said.
I was gonna say
I'm
the same
surprised
thing.
you like.
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
surprised
lot
you
of
like
those
the
that are
Blob
kind of
from the 90s.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that one.
Well, that's like I've heard it. Well, I think it's actually from the 80s. Is it from the 90s? Anyways, that one I've heard of. A lot of those are kind of like weird 80s movies. Like Life Force is very. Yeah, there's a type of movie that list, is. I would just encourage Max to see more just classic films overall. Yeah. Like The Big Lebowski.
It's
just
hard,
watch all
though,
the Coen
because
Brothers movies, like A Serious Man. Great.
This is what I did on the Facebook page. I posted, "Hey, since so many people are saying I haven't seen movies, why don't you comment some movies that you feel like I need to see?" And I got like 45 responses, and a few of them I'd seen already, but I was just like, man, why even ask for this? Because there's no way I can get to all these movies. Like, there's just too many. I watched a few of them. I watched Eden Lake and something else. I don't remember, which I thought Eden Lake was fine.
I never saw
it. Didn't blow me away, but it was all right.
Okay, last caller.
This is Brian from Canada calling in. I just listened to Creep 2 and found out that Max is married to his cousin and that Bryce wishes that he was sleeping with his cousins. It occurred to me that you guys probably really love the step category on Pornhub. So have fun with it. Have a good day.
I think we talked about this on that pod.
I think we did.
Where specifically, like, I don't like the step category because that's too close.
I didn't remember
they should have a category
that we talked
of
about
like
on Creep. Oops.
They should have a category of like, hot cousin twice removed.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the point I was getting at is that everyone is your cousin somewhere down the line.
Right. Right.
Everyone is married to their cousin. It's just probably like 10th and above cousins.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe.
I also wanted to highlight really quickly the poll that we put on the Facebook group because I don't think we touched on this yet. And I just really like the interaction on this one. Let me find it real quick.
Are you talking about the twink poll?
Yeah. So I posted
we didn't talk
on.
about that? I thought we did. No. I don't know.
Posted on Facebook. Is Max a twink. 65% just straight out agreed. And then also left the option for adding responses. 65% yes, 7% no, 2% who is Max, 10% what's HMT, 6% took me 5 minutes of the first episode that he was on to figure that out, 2% what's a twink, 6% no, he's a dude bro.
Oh. Well, that's from
and then
Max's biggest fan anyways. So.
Yeah. And then 2% yes, but I really want to stress that I mean it in a nice way.
Got a lot of comments.
Yeah,
a lot
of comments on this. 19 comments. My favorite.
Look at that top one. Max seems to be a fetus. What is that supposed to mean?
Well, again, it's talking about how you haven't seen most movies. Yeah, a lot of Glittercore comes to your aid there.
I know,
but my favorite comment is down here from our good old Dustin Goebel.
It was so good.
He looks like a twink, but also puts out otter vibes, which
so
I mean, it's pretty spot on.
Twink detected.
You do put out otter vibes. I think we can all agree on that. That should be the next poll on Facebook. Does Max put out otter vibes?
Twink versus otter. Which one is he?
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyways, thanks for calling in. Thanks for posting on Facebook and commenting, all that stuff. So also want to thank our new patrons from the last couple weeks, Trestle and Raining Madness, for joining. Really, you know, if you like the show and you think we're doing good, the best way to support us is through Patreon. And again, you can get early access without ads. Please share the podcast with a friend. We want to grow organically through people that like the show and can share it with like-minded people. So don't be shy about it. You've got horror freaks out there that would love this.
And buy the stickers.
And buy the stickers. Go to the shop. Buy the embroidered patch. Put it on your denim jacket. You know, be a cool kid. Also, if you want to call and leave your voicemail, call 682-253-4468. Until next time, horrors. This is your boy, Bryce Hanson, signing off with Max and Sydney. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good day, sir. Good day, sir. You lose. You get nothing. Is that me? Yes, it is.
I just took a stroll through the scraggly woods.
He had no face.
Horror!
Wow, that didn't sound good.
Oh.